Hi, awesome kids. I'm teacher David. Today I'm going to share about 10 plagues. So let's begin our lesson. Last week, teacher Huisim shared about that God told Moses to tell the Pharaoh that he must let the Israelites to left Egypt. But remember how Moses replied? I'm very bad speaker. So after the first meet-up of Moses and Pharaoh, Pharaoh decided to increase the workload of Israelites. Therefore, the Israelite is very angry at Moses and Aaron. They complain that, may Jehovah monitor you and exercise judgment because you have made us bad image before Pharaoh and his servants and handed the sword to them to kill us. Moses felt very ashamed. He felt that he had not fulfilled his responsibility, but brought even greater disaster to his fellow. The Jehovah said to Moses, I will use my mighty hand to punish the Egyptian Pharaoh. I will make Pharaoh's heart even harder, and I will do more miracles in Egypt. Go to Pharaoh and say to him, let the Israelites go out of your country, Egypt. But Pharaoh will not listen to you. I will stretch out my hand to punish them heavily and save the Israelites. So Moses and Aaron have their faith in God and decided to meet up with Pharaoh once again. And Moses and Aaron went into the palace to meet Pharaoh. Aaron threw his staff in front of Pharaoh, and the staff became a snake crawling on the ground. They used to prove the miracle of God. In response, Pharaoh just smiled coldly. He summoned the sorcerers and they performed the Egyptian spells. Each of them also threw their staffs on the ground and turned them into snakes. Although the snake that Aaron conjured in the end ate the snakes of the warlocks, the Pharaoh was not moved. So what happened next? In the book of Exodus, chapter 7, verse 14, then the Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh's heart is unyielding. He refuses to let the people go. So behold, the first plague, the Moses and Aaron brought blood disaster to Egypt in accordance with God's will. They went to see Pharaoh and Aaron lifted his staff in front of Pharaoh and his servant and hit the water in the river. The water in the river turns into blood. The fish in the river died, and the river water also smells badly. There was blood everywhere in Egypt. The Egyptians could not drink the water from the river, so they could only dig wells up by the river to draw the water out for humans and animals to drink. This plague lasted for 7 days. But the Pharaoh remained stubborn, didn't take all this to heart. Pharaoh still not letting Israelites go. Behold, the second plague. Now, my friend, can you guess what plague God will send this time? It's plague of frog. Did you guess it? God instructed Aaron to stretch his staff over the river and pond. And the frog came up and on the land of Egypt. The frog jumped into Pharaoh's palace. there were frogs everywhere in his palace, in the bedroom, on the couch, in the houses of the ministers, and on the people. This time, Pharaoh took the initiative to summon Moses and Aaron and say to them, please ask that Jehovah to get the frog away from me and my people, and Israelites go and offer sacrifice to the Lord. In Exodus chapter 8 verse 9, Moses said to Pharaoh, I leave to you the honor of setting the time for me to pray for you and your officials and your people, that you and your houses may be rid of the frogs, except for those that remains in the Nile. And then Pharaoh replied without hesitation, tomorrow. The next day, all frogs on land died. People gathered the dead frog into hills, and the stench of the dead frog filled the land of Egypt. Pharaoh saw that the disaster was over. He regretted it. The Israel still have not obtained permission to leave Egypt. In the third plague, according to God's command, Aaron hit the dust on the ground with his staff, turning the dust into lice all over Egypt. The Egyptians and animals have lice on them. Do you have any idea on what is lice? Let's have a look in this video.
Head lice are non-flying insects that are spread by casual contact and sharing clothing. That's why close play in childcare and primary schools make lice a much bigger issue in those age groups. They feed on human blood by piercing the scalp with their mouth parts and sucking blood. The scalp can become itchy because of a reaction to their saliva when they feed. So other than some itching, there aren't any serious health problems associated with head lice. A simple examination of the scalp is usually all that's needed to confirm the presence of head lice. They are 2 to 4 millimeters in length and grey-white in colour. Anyone can get head lice, so it's nothing to be embarrassed about. Treating head lice involves the application of non-prescription lotions for every family member. Using a fine-tooth comb to physically remove the dead lice and eggs, called nits, is also essential for successful treatment. To help kill the lice, along with any eggs, all bedding, clothing and towels used for 48 hours prior to treatment will need to be washed in hot water.
As you can see from the video, lice eat tiny amounts of blood to survive. It lives in our hair and they lay eggs too. Therefore, our scalps will become very itchy. It grows, right? But the plague of lice did not change the heart of the cruel Pharaoh. He still refused to listen to Moses. These are the first 3 plagues that happened in Egypt. But there are more coming soon. I'm Teacher David. See you next week. Stay tuned, my friend.